Thank you so much, and it is truly an honor to be here with all of you. Leadership is dynamic, layered, and intentional, and is a uniquely personal journey. Today, I will share how leadership can be viewed through two lenses: leadership of self and leadership of teams, and how accountability, woven through these two perspectives, serves as the thread stitching together your leadership journey. I was asked here today to speak on women's leadership, but I have what may be an unpopular confession. I hate the term women's leadership. Qualifying leadership in any way suggests that leadership is supposed to be different based on arbitrary labels of society. As women, we cannot allow ourselves to be qualified in such a way that creates the expectation that our leadership is or should be different. Patriarchy, a system of social governance, creates and holds space for men to assume leadership positions. And throughout history, the framework of leadership has always been masculine. However, when leadership is qualified by gender, it perpetuates stereotypical gender roles. Women are gentle and compassionate, leading teams by quiet consensus building, and men, armed with authority, loudly exercise their command with assertiveness. While there are some men and women who fall into these socially constructed gender roles, leadership itself is so much more. Leadership is a spectrum. Most importantly, leadership is you. As women, we often allow ourselves to believe the long list of reasons for why we're not qualified to make game-changing decisions, or why we're not ready to lead. We're not enough of this, or we're not enough of that. We don't have this, we don't have that. Society reinforces these beliefs and tells us, no. No, you can't raise healthy and happy children if you seek a leadership position. No, you won't lead your team as well as a man. No, you are not qualified to make a pivotal decision regarding the future of an organization. I am here to tell you, yes. Yes, you can. Yes, you will. And yes, you are. As women, we must fight against these preconceived notions of who we should be and create space to step into the roles we define for ourselves. Stop with the excuses. Leadership does not ask whether you are a man or a woman. It only asks that you lead. Wherever there are important, life-altering, and world-changing decisions to be made, that is where you belong. When I was in college, I came across the White House Project, an organization founded and run by an amazing woman by the name of Marie Wilson, who pioneered innovation, research, and programming for the advancement of women and their leadership journey for more than 30 years. After surviving my experiences in a male-dominated military, I was in search of a safe space. For me, the White House Project was such a place. Marie's vision planted the seed so someday someone like me could bloom. This story, my story, is only one of many. Each time a woman leads, it sparks the dreams of another little girl. And girls with dreams become women with vision, planting seeds for the next generation. And one day, even in the most unforgiving terrain, cultivated by the faith, work, and vision of each one of us, a new leader will bloom. Do you dare to dream big dreams? Will you plant more seeds? In 2016, I delivered my first speech. It was much like the one I'm giving today, encouraging women from across the country who wanted to run for public office to step into their leadership. But there was one major difference. I was not the woman standing before you today. In my place was a scared 6-year-old child struggling with a severe speech impediment who was teased day after day. Already a bundle of nerves, I was riddled with fear when I learned I would take the stage right after keynote speaker, New York City public advocate Letitia James, a larger-than-life woman known for bringing crowds to their feet, to be followed by me, a terrified little girl. When the time came, I took my place on stage and showed up as myself. I told my own story on my own terms, in my own voice. Pulling back layers of fear, I showed my scars and shared lessons learned from my own journey, centered in a place of authenticity. Afterwards, several people approached and said how much they connected with me through that vulnerability. I wasn't larger than life that day, but I was me, and that was enough. I will always be enough. Leadership is rooted in our ability to shift from the belief in old stories, stories of pain, regret, insecurity, and fear, to recognize that each of us has the power to write our own story. By facing the lies we tell ourselves and stepping outside of our comfort zone, we have the chance to grow. But too often, we are afraid to take that first step. The truth is, comfort zones are never really about comfort. They are about fear. Do not let the watchful gaze of fear prevent you from moving forward. By leaving my comfort zone, I have experienced a new way of living. I have found a sense of freedom and discovered a better version of me. I have found my true self, and from that, my own leadership style. I have rejected the confinement of boxes and labels, seeking to make sense or organize my existence. I am free to chart my own path, take risks, move on from the past, and write my own story. As you take your next step and continue on your own leadership journey, strive to be better tomorrow than you are today. We must be resilient, effectively managing pressure and remaining optimistic and persistent, even through adversity and setbacks. Failure and struggle are a fundamental part of leadership. While they are deeply disappointing, they are also an opportunity to grow. Take that gift. Do not succumb to the temptation of deflecting responsibility or placing blame. Use those opportunities as a way to improve your agility and practice your tenacity. Welcome hard-learned information, adapt to your new reality, and remain open to other points of view. As the world around us continues to change, we can use this new perspective to become better leaders. We may not always be where we want to be, but we should always know where we are. By relentlessly pursuing self-development, we can assess and utilize our strengths and recognize and navigate our weaknesses. No matter how treacherous or easy the road may be, never become content with standing still. These are the ways you hold yourself accountable, by finding the real you and trusting her. In the military, we have a motto: the only easy day was yesterday. Yesterday was easy because it's over, and it is time to focus on today. Speech impediments, comfort and familiarity, last quarter's earnings, an old job, a past relationship, no matter how good or bad they were, they are over. Look ahead and focus on the next steps in your journey. The first person you must lead is you, and we all must be accountable for our own journey. But do not become so myopic on your own journey that you lose sight of the world around you and the people that depend on you. Accountability not only applies to self, but also to your teams and to your organizations. Whether your team is your employees or coworkers, your families or friends, remember that the choices you make, the lives you lead, affect those around you. The lessons you apply to yourself must also be passed to those who look to you for guidance and leadership. Value those who support you and support those who value you. Trust your team and learn to lead by following. Center the trait of audacity and let others lead you. The ability to cede control not only keeps leaders humble, but also makes you averse to micromanaging. While each member of your team may have their defined roles, make sure, like you, they have the freedom to explore and take risks. This trust gives them the confidence to develop as leaders themselves, making decisions with incomplete information, adapting to ever-changing circumstances, and finding their own authentic style. Knowing they have your trust and support, your team will learn to be as resilient as you are, find opportunity in failure, and continue to learn. Create a culture of shared long-term vision so your team knows where you are headed. Teach them to plan and measure everything, underestimate nothing, and build a culture of collective responsibility. Encourage your team to translate this shared vision into action and be a catalyst for change. Take calculated risks and guide your team as you embrace and overcome challenges together. Challenges lead to innovation, and innovation leads to a better world. And through all of this, remember, each and every day, strive not for perfection, but for progress. The time has come to pick up the pen and author the next chapters of your life. Wherever that story may end, what will you do today to begin that journey? How can you be more accountable to yourself and to those around you? Cast aside your fear and doubt, because I promise you, in a world where a child born into poverty can serve her country and stand in front of a nation to nominate the woman she admired as a little girl to be the next president of the United States, anything is possible. I believe in each and every one of you. It is time to take that first step. You are ready. It is time to lead. Thank you.